This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No. Y'all,
This
just
is
stop.
a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll. What's up? Welcome to DBL. I'm Jeff. No, I'm Tori. Hi, guys. Was it? I was trying to channel.
I didn't know what you were doing, but it worked out.
and it's Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Very good to see everyone. All right, let's talk about this news. Taylor Swift has now become the second richest self-made woman in music. So according to Forbes, which released its top richest people in the world, Taylor has an estimated net worth of $740 million. Now, that's still far off the top spot, which is held by the Queen, Rihanna, with a net worth of $1.4 billion, thanks in part to her beauty and lingerie brands. Now, Madonna, who is embarking on a new world tour, came in third with a net worth of $580 million. And of course, the Beyonce, who is currently on tour, is in the fourth spot with a net worth of $540 million.
Let's give it up for the Queen.
Woo! Yes! Right?
Why are you clapping now?
Because I honestly, I'm in shock at these incredible sums of money. We would have never had this years ago. And I look at the women that top these charts, and I was like, what's the fundamental difference between them and women that were famous 20, even 15 years ago? And I think 15 years ago, Rihanna would have partnered with Maybelline or Yves Saint Laurent, and they would have taken that. But I think somebody's like, hey, why don't you just make your own? And she was like, okay. Yeah. And so you see the evolution in thought in the financial literacy of just like the overall culture, where now everybody's like, I am the brand, I'm going to own the brand, I'm going to own the product, and I'm going to own the shipping, and I'm going to own the marketing. And you see the mushroom cloud of growth that led to.
Yeah, all of them are multi-hyphenates. And I think that when it really comes down to it, you're looking at, I remember when it was like such a big thing that Taylor Swift was writing her own music. I remember when it was such a big thing that Beyonce was not asking for, but demanding, because she was contributing to her own lyrics, to the songwriters. Because back in the day, and even now, like when you hear songs that are huge hits, generally the person who's singing the song isn't the person who's really benefiting from the growth of the song. It's the songwriter, the person who owns the song. And we started hearing about that when the Rihannas and when Beyoncés and Taylors of the world were really rising to superstardom. So the ability to really diversify your portfolio in any arena that you're in is really going to contribute to that type of financial excellence.
And I'm just so proud of their character. All three of those women, I'm so proud to say, are role models to my child.
That's a great point.
All three of them. And so I think the more that our children grow up and see that you don't have to compromise your integrity to be successful, that example alone will produce a whole different generation of hustlers that are also really good people.
That's a great point. I also think when Rihanna started Fenty, which is the makeup line, the one thing I kept hearing is, there's finally shades and colors for me. She just took what you always say, there was a vacuum. There was 4 shades, right? She just made it much more, intonation and subtle, and blew up.
It always makes sense. If you try and block something, it's like water. Like if you try and block it, it's just going to break off into other. And that's why I'm always like, if somebody wants to be racist and say, we don't make things in your shade. Good.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Because what you're doing is you are opening up. There's always a market for things, whether you want to put it out or not. And there's a reason that we saw Victoria's Secret, who ruled the landscape like a giant walking through the countryside. No one wanted to step to Victoria's Secret. Now they're filing for bankruptcy because they refuse to diversify and grow with the times. Either you're growing or you're dying.
Well, there were other reasons too, but but I think that's a very important note. But it's also important to understand.
Giant in the countryside?
It was a great way of putting that out. Thank you for that, giant in the countryside. But you'll also remember that Rihanna she found the vacuum. Obviously, it was about being able to have a diversity of shades.
Right.
But remember, it all started with one shade, and that was the lip gloss. I'll never forget, I think it was season 2. Jeray, our creative director, went out and got us all one of those simple lip glosses that was for every shade.
Everyone.
And I still use that.
Yeah,
not the same one. I've gotten multiple ones since.
But it's universal.
But I still use it, and that's how it started. Just that one product, and then it just completely spun out.
And then remember the freaking Super Bowl with the
Oh, yeah, that was free advertising.
So
Boom.
smart, so smart. I want to be a multi-hyphenate one day. You guys inspire me, all three of you. All right, we're now getting a better idea of how Aiden comes back into Carrie's life. It is revealed in a new preview of the Sex and the City reboot. And just like that, let's take a look.
And just like that, I realized you never know what tomorrow will bring.
Sitting here with you is like 10 years just.
Oh, in case you missed it, Carrie sends Aiden an email. We paused it. It says, quote, "Hey, stranger, remember me? If this is still your email, it's me, Carrie. Was just thinking about you the other day, and I wondered how you were doing. So how you doing?" She ends, that's fascinating. She ends the note, Al's already looking at me, saying she hopes to hear back. Poetry.
First of all, you don't need to announce yourself on email. It says it when it's in your inbox. Let's just start there. They should call this, instead of just like that, 50 ways to use technology. We're using phone calls and emails. This just seems like a weird way to carve out time because they don't have, it seems like much of the original characters that people want in this storyline. I don't know, Samantha just didn't want to be there. I don't know what's going on with
back.
Aiden.
She's back.
On the phone
She's
in another,
She's coming back.
He's
in
right,
a
guys.
sound studio.
You're right.
It's opening the door.
He's right.
It's opening the
Thank you,
door.
Erica.
Let's close the door on this franchise. It's
Why?
How is
it hurting
together
you?
anymore?
How is it hurting you?
Erica's gonna be watching it when they're on Zoom together.
Yeah, I will. I absolutely will. I want to know what's happening in their lives today.
Right.
I think
Via email.
People
whatever.
communicate via email.
Communicate via
They're
email.
they're women
Erica?
in their 50s. I think there's a lot of yes, exactly. Email's completely fine. Anyway, why am I talking to you about this? You have no idea what you're talking
Email's
about.
completely fine. I'd love to have you as the script supervisor. It's 50 emails. Erica's awesome.
Well,
no one wants to see that.
don't email me because I have, I think, 27,000 unread emails right now. Yeah. Don't email me. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about emailing.
What do you think about him even coming back?
Okay, I'm cool with Aiden coming back, but I wish it would have happened a little more organically.
Totally.
Because I got an email from an ex once, and he, to his credit, he was just apologizing. This was my freshman year in college. This was early email season, you know?
Yeah.
And he was like, I really regret the way that I treated you. And I thought that was really nice. I was kind of snarky about it back.
Did you respond?
I'm like, oh, it's totally fine. It was the best thing that could have happened to me. My life got so much better. So yeah, he was far more grown up than I was.
I respect that. I sent an email like that, an apology email. To a woman I dated in college, I emailed her. I was like, I'm sorry, I was too awesome for you, and you couldn't handle it. And I'm just kidding, but I just love seeing Sam like, good for you,
Sam,
Al.
have you ever reached out to someone reached out in the past to you?
And is that weird?
I've reached out in the past, and they've reached out to me, and it's always been over email. So yeah.
But what was the tone of it? Like checking to see how you're doing? Or?
No, it was more of an apology.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah,
That's great.
and it was amicable, and then it ended weird.
Okay. You could tell there was a but there because it was weird.
I kind of. Can you get into why it ended weird?
No, it's personal.
Read the room out.
Well, she brought it up.
I did. Also, I want to say Che Diaz, least favorite character in the history of TV.
Am I completely wrong about this series? It seems like they're grasping for nostalgia because it doesn't seem like there's a lot there.
I think there's a lot we invested in those characters that you might not feel, but I do know what you mean by it's whimpering away.
It does seem
in a way. I agree, and I just can't stand Che Diaz. All right, in a new slick marketing move, the Mattel toy company has released a new line of dolls and toys based on the new Barbie movie. So of course, we got to see how they compared to the real life actors. All right, here we go. There's Barbie in this pink and white gingham dress next to Margot Robbie.
Was it the 1950s in that dress?
Yeah. Right.
But isn't that the style? Isn't that a style?
There's one style. Okay, there's also rodeo Barbie. Let's take a look at her cowgirl outfit.
Cute.
Okay. Barbie in the gold disco jumpsuit next to Margot.
Okay.
Okay. And a shirtless Ken with his with his denim jacket.
Wait, can I ask one question?
Oh my God, he looks terrible.
I want to ask a question to all the women on the panel. Even if you have an 8-pack, is a vest with no shirt, can you ever get away with that?
Yes, you can. You can get away with it for Pride Week.
I was just going to say that.
That's good, Erica.
Actually, I'll give you the whole month. I'll give you the whole month. You get away
All
with
of
it.
June.
I want to see Issa Rae.
I do too. I agree. Well, another Ken, played by Simu Liu, is in his disco look. Okay. All right. You can also buy a replica pink Barbie Corvette for $75, or the entire Barbie dream house from the film for its $150. Do you think marketing?
Is that to scale?
No.
Yeah.
Like just a small.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's how.
Detail.
Oh, there's Issa.
Nice.
There's Issa Rae.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a cute one.
Wish she had more
Her hair's not
texture
the
in her
same.
hair.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's kind of weird. Why didn't they curl it? That is weird.
I'm looking for texture.
Plastic.
Yeah, that's not right.
I don't know.
That's a little weird. Anyway, do you think marketing will do well, the merchandising?
Yes.
I don't know if the merchandising will do well, because it feels like that this film is aimed more at 20 and over.
Yes.
And they're not the ones buying Barbie.
Yeah, maybe even
Speak
over.
for yourself.
Than 20, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You cut your Barbies' heads off.
I did.
Yes. I feel like you've talked about this with many professionals.
I have.
Yes.
I have.
All right.
Coming up on DBL, we're talking with two-time Grammy nominee Brat and her wife Judy about their unique love story and their IVF journey. And is Megan Thee Stallion dating a soccer star? Erica's going to break it down in her segment, What Erica's Watching. DBL, this show is amazing.
There's a lot going on down here.
I would have been part of the Mile High Club.
Yeah.
So on point. But I'm going to have a conversation about what's happening now. Well, one time I was brought to the guidance counselors because my mom, if you don't know, was put on an enzyme metabolic resurgence IV that was a guinea pig, and it was making her morning sickness, so she was throwing up a lot. Sorry for being graphic. And at school, I took my Barbies, and I made them throw up so much that they killed Ken. No, you didn't. And they took me to the guidance.
Who could make that up?
counselor. And they said, is something going on at home with sickness? And there was.
So that was you manifesting, yes.
With the dolls. Like, I think that's what kids do with therapy.
You know
what I'm saying?
You know what I thought was really interesting in terms of like
Ken's okay,
how
though.
therapy works in real life is the famous Malice at the Palace with Ron Artest and that fan threw the drink on him that started the whole thing. He was famously laying on the scorer's table after they were trying away from the melee, and he was there doing his steps that his therapist had told him. He was laying on his back, counting backwards from 10 to calm himself down.
He was de-escalating.
And that's when the guy threw the soda and it landed on him, and that's when it snapped him out and he went into the stands. But he had separated it. He had done all the steps. I remember when, and this is a horrible thing to bring up, but when Mike Tyson sadly, tragically lost his daughter on the treadmill accident, he said the first thing he did was go into the steps that his therapist had told him because he felt the old rage Mike coming out. And he was like, I knew if I didn't, something terrible. So
and he said, don't ever tell me the name of the treadmill.
Right.
Because I'd go to the person and kill them.
But yeah, so it's like there's things that are in place and they're not perfect, but it's like when you steer into therapy and you give it a chance, it can be life-saving.
It is life-saving.
You know, so it's like it's all these little things, but like when you look at it, you're like Ron Artest just laying on the scorer's table.
I had no idea he was calming down.
He was working his step there.
That was taken so wrong, that whole
It was wrong. It was a whole conspiracy.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I've had this wrong. It was like Yoko Ono. When we watched the Beatles stuff, she did nothing. Everyone's like, she ruined the Beatles. No, she didn't. Why does it...
Welcome back. Would you buy a wig from a Real Housewife? Is Meg Thee Stallion really off the market? And which rapper is back on daddy duty in this week's What Erica's Watching? Now first, after 12 years of marriage, former Atlanta housewife Kim Zolciak is splitting from her husband Kroy and her picture-perfect life. Now the word on the street is it's because of financial issues. Now we all remember when Sheree tugged Kim's wig during the franchise's second season after Sheree confronted Kim for calling NeNe's husband Greg broke.
I have nothing bad to say about your husband.
But that is bad to say that he's broke. Like you saying he's broke, like that's an insult to me.
Now, Bravo-holics can snatch up Kim's wig too. That's because she's selling them for more than $1,500 each. And rumors are swirling that her engagement ring will be the next thing she will be hawking to Housewives fans. I hear she's also trying to get her peach back. So isn't it ironic how getting divorced has her running back to being a housewife? Next, rumors are on fire that Meg Thee Stallion is off the market. She was recently spotted at a wedding in Italy holding hands with a sexy Belgium soccer star. This has fans questioning if the Houston hottie is actually dating the tall, dark, and handsome athlete who accompanied her, and if so, for how long? Well, fans are speculating that the two have secretly been dating for 3 years based on lyrics she included in a song she released in 2020 where she refers to dating a European poppy in Italy. Now, I like this lane for Megan, a tall, dark, handsome international soccer star who treats her like a true queen. And rapper Offset has been open about his estranged relationship with his own father, who he reunited with in 2019 after 23 years. Now the rapper is showing us all what kind of a dad he is. First, he took his daughters to the Little Mermaid premiere, and now he's serving up even more family man goals. He was spotted this week at the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse premiere with his 3 sons, and fans are commenting that he's styled in another look that also seems to be inspired by the King of Pop. Share with me anything that catches your eye by using the hashtag DBLEricaWatch. We'll be right back.
There is nothing I like better than finding a great deal on travel. And it turns out I'm not alone. Verify viewer Catherine emailed us to ask, is there a certain day of the week that's cheapest to buy a plane ticket? So Catherine, let's verify. Our sources are Scott's Cheap Flights, a study by cheapair.com, and Brett Snyder, president of Cranky Concierge Travel Assistance and a former airline pricing analyst. Some studies suggest Tuesday or Saturdays are the cheapest days to buy tickets, but all of our sources say they usually rely on flawed or outdated data. For example, some articles suggest that weekends are the cheapest days to buy. Snyder points out that's based on data that tracks the average amount spent on a ticket each day of the week. Families tend to buy their tickets on weekends and usually purchase less expensive tickets. Meanwhile, business travelers tend to buy their tickets during the week, and many are less price sensitive.
A lot of the business travel, premium cabin or even last minute or whatever it might be, those tend to be higher fares.
The end result is a study that has skewed data. Similar articles suggest Tuesdays offer the best deals, but our sources say that's also not the case. Scott's Cheap Flights explains on its site that this idea is a holdover from the 1990s when airlines used to upload special e-fares on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. These days, Snyder says airlines use sophisticated algorithms to consistently adjust fares based on demand, regardless of what day of the week it is.
This hasn't existed for years. I couldn't tell you the last time when those actually were out there in the market.
So we can verify, no, there is not a certain day of the week that's cheapest to buy a plane ticket. So when should you book? Cheapair.com found domestic tickets are generally cheapest 3 to 15 weeks before departure. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back to DBL and happy Pride Month. Earlier, we sat down with soon-to-be parents, 2-time Grammy nominee Brat and Kaleidoscope Hair CEO Judy Harris-Dupart. Watch.
I just want to thank you both for being so open about your struggles with your fertility journey. I know that it became a hot button issue, but I'm going through IVF right now, and I understand the importance of genetic testing. What else would you tell people to kind of be aware, especially women of color who are going through the fertility journey, because people forget about us?
So for me, I would say, honestly, the health risks, because we did have a health scare. Also, just understanding that even if you're a woman that's on a go or a career woman and you don't have it in your mind to have children now, there's a certain age that you lose the chance of, having any more eggs.
My poor little eggs were dried up, honey. I had none. Where, thank God my wife had still a decent amount, but you don't realize as you get older, they decrease quicker. Now, being pregnant is not, I've never been pregnant and I'm 49, so I have carpal tunnel in both hands. Sometimes I feel like my wrist is broken. I have liver levels that are abnormal that I've never heard of. I got a hemorrhoid or two every now and then. I love it. My toes look like Vienna sausages. I have cankles. You know, I'm just like, oh my God. But I'm taking it all in stride because I'm very grateful and I feel very blessed and honored to be pregnant at my age. And I just want to tell women at my age to never give up.
Okay, so I know that you two met at one of Judy's Kaleidoscope hair events. Judy, did you have a crush on Brat before you actually met her?
She doesn't, we talked about this, but she doesn't believe me. I told her that, but she said because I don't know all of the words to all of her songs, that she feels as though I couldn't have possibly. But I told her that a very long time ago. Growing up, I used to listen to her and kind of have heart eyes. Like, you know, didn't really expect to meet her.
Did you feel like you had to keep your sexuality private during your career? And was there anybody in the industry that knew?
People that were close to me knew, and people that I trusted and loved and you know, that genuinely had my back, they knew, and they would protect me and I would protect them. But yeah, back in the day, it wasn't easy as it is today. If you remember, Ellen lost her talk show.
Yep.
Right.
You know, life went downhill for people who came out with their sexuality. But thank God that it's different today. I was nervous to come out, but when I met my beautiful right here, she lived out loud already, and I was like, I want the world to know how good this feels. Like, I don't want to hide this, and it felt like a weight was lifted when I finally told people.
We have a lot of people who write in and say the show helps them literally find their identity. And I want to ask you, what do you have to say to those struggling to find their identity because you were living your life out loud?
I've had a certain sense of fearlessness. So I was fortunate enough to be able, like, I'm the person that will jump off a cliff and figure out the parachute the way down.
Poor Brat, like, no.
I think that actually kind of went into my business acumen too. So when it comes to stuff like that, I feel like this is who I am. This is who I show up. This is how I'm going to show up. Whoever it aggravates, whoever it upsets, they weren't meant to be in my life. They weren't meant to do this. They weren't meant to do that. Because even when, you know, my parents found out, they didn't like it, but I didn't change it.
Before we let you go, what are you most excited for your viewers to see in the final episodes of Brat Loves Judy Season 3?
You get to, what I'm excited about is you guys, like, the cameras have been for the journey. So the cameras were there for the miscarriage, the cameras were there when we first found out about the pregnancy. So I like that the cameras get to see Brat's first reaction to finding out we're pregnant, not only to that, but finding out where the pregnancy is moving along, to seeing the heartbeat, to hearing the heartbeat the first time, and all of those different special moments, because I know that everybody will appreciate that, especially people that either have experienced it before, people that want to experience it. That's what I'm looking forward to the most, me.
Oh,
wow.
Y'all are so cute.
I know. I can't handle it. I can't.
I can't.
DBL Nation, new episodes of Brat Loves Judy air every Thursday on WeTV. Happy Pride, you two. You guys deserve it all.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love is in the air. How cute were they? We'll be right back.
Do yourself a favor and come over and look at this. My sweet pups just snoozing the day away. I spend a lot of time thinking about them, but do they spend as much time thinking of me? That's the claim in viral posts on Instagram touting new research that supposedly proves dogs often dream of their owners. Let's verify. To dig into this one, we looked at some of the leading scientific research on the topic, and many of the claims cite an interview of Dr. Deidre Barrett, Harvard Medical School psychologist, in People magazine online. Here's what she says, quote, humans dream about the same things they're interested in by day. There's no reason to think animals are any different. Since dogs are generally extremely attached to their human owners, it's likely your dog is dreaming of your face, your smell, and of pleasing or annoying you. But that's really just an educated guess. We weren't able to get a hold of Dr. Barrett for this story, but we did look into what else we know about dog dreams and spoke with Dr. Stanley Corin, who's written books on the topic.
Because we want to know as much as we can about our dogs and what they're thinking. It's not going to change the universe, but it helps us to understand.
Research on rats has found the animals replay the events of their day in their dreams, and Dr. Corin says researchers agree this likely applies to dogs as well. He cites additional experiments that conclude dogs dream of very specific activities from their waking hours, pointing, digging, retrieving, for example.
You're not going to find any research study which says your dog is dreaming about Abby. There is research which shows that just like human beings, animals sort of replay events of the day as part of their dreams. Then, in fact, Abby's dogs can be dreaming about Abby. I mean, but it's a leap of faith.
So while we cannot verify that your dogs are dreaming about you, like the posts claim, since there's no data to back that up, we also can't verify they're not dreaming about you either. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
YouTube is home to billions of hours of video, including clips from creators who haven't posted anything new in years. One tweet with nearly 2 million views claims Google is planning to delete inactive accounts, which means removing YouTube accounts and their videos since Google owns YouTube. So let's verify. Is Google deleting YouTube videos from inactive accounts? Our sources are Google and YouTube's creator liaison, Renee Ritchie. Google updated its inactive account policy in a May 16th blog post. It said Google may delete content within Google Workspace, YouTube, and Google Photos. However, a day later, the post was modified to remove YouTube from the list and add that they do not have plans to delete accounts with YouTube videos at this time. Ritchie, who serves as a bridge between YouTube and video creators, confirmed on Twitter that Google is not deleting any accounts with YouTube videos, meaning old YouTube videos are safe. So, no, Google is not deleting YouTube videos from inactive accounts. Google says it will begin deleting accounts without videos that haven't been used in 2 years starting in December. You can keep your account active by logging into your account or logging into a third-party application that's tied to your Google account. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. If you want to up your patio game this summer, here's some tips sponsored by Sunsetter. So first up, add a hammock. It's cheaper than patio furniture. Next, add a colorful outdoor rug. Next, use rechargeable lanterns instead of candles. And lastly, don't forget to keep it cool by covering it up. With affordable custom features without the custom price, Sunsetter is America's #1 best-selling awning. Spend more time outside. Get the best value with Sunsetter. It's been an industry leader for 30 years. So call 1-800-513-6851 or visit sunsetter.com for guaranteed pricing on American-made awnings built to last.
I just want to excuse my son. He just burped, if everybody heard it.
Miles, we love you.
He's so cute.
Miles, you don't go baby.
I was about to say, you cannot excuse anything that cute.
Yeah, that baby is a cherub.
Yeah.
It's an angel baby.
There's something about kids in the office. Everybody gets happy.
Yeah, he's such a good
your kids
boy.
grow up.
And why do I speak to babies like I do with dogs?
You should probably have two different ways.
Such a good baby.
And see, now our executive, you see how mad Chris is?
Don't
He
do it.
doesn't like
Okay.
that.
What a good baby, Miles. That's better.